Hello everybody and welcome back to Farming Simulator 17. I am Irish Red, Big Farmer Red, and today we are going to work on getting some of our fields ready for the upcoming harvest. We still have some fertilization that we need to do on both fields 11 and 8. If we take a look here on the map, we can see that they're growing nicely, but if we remember last time, we planted them and we now have them up to 2 rounds of fertilization. We need to get 1 more fertilization on them before they're ready to go, as well as 12. So we will see if we have time to do that today. But today we are going to do more prep to get ready for some animals. So we're going to go down here and we're going to actually mow field 10. Get that grass knocked down and get that into a silo so that we can, have some food for animals in the near future. So we will check our vehicle here. Everything looks good. Everything looks like it is attached. So we are going to roll out in our 7R here and just go mow up field 10 real quick, and then we will come back and we're not gonna actually bale it today. What we will end up doing is we'll mow it and ted it with this tractor. We'll come back, get another tractor, and we will go back and windrow it. Then we will just grab our forage wagon, head back out there, pick it all up, and dump it off into the silo for future use. So I hope everybody had a good weekend. I actually had a decent weekend myself. It was one of those, just a standard weekend, nothing new going on, just kind of really learn to drive, Red, jeez. Anyway, not much going on, just kind of sitting back, relaxing, enjoying some nice weather, finally, that we are getting around here. But I did get a bit of good news, I guess you could say. I got a call from my dad. Oh, yeah, it actually was the other day. And his insurance company finally stopped being a bunch of idiots. And they actually approved him for what he is calling a Stephen Hawking system. For those of you that don't know, my dad was in a really bad car accident a little over a year ago now. Broke his neck, and he has been wheelchair bound for the past, year. I had to have neck surgery and the whole 9 yards. He's still wheelchair bound. He doesn't have the mobility like he should in his legs. He can, move them. He just doesn't have the strength or the nerves, I guess you could say. And I don't mean like, oh, he's nervous about it, but when his neck broke, his nerves actually got severed a bit in his neck, and so they went in and repaired them, put a couple of plates in his neck, and then he pretty much was fixed, I guess you could say. But nerves only grow at a ridiculously small rate per year, and it's something like a millimeter per year, 10 millimeters per year, some very, very small amount per year. I'm not remembering off the top of my head. But the insurance company was giving him a hard time. They didn't want to give him the required equipment that he needed. Well, with the help of his girlfriend, who can be a real how can you say, let's just say you don't want to make her mad, period, end of story. She will definitely tell you how it is. So she started going rounds with the insurance company and the lawyer, and wouldn't you know it, the insurance company finally caved in, and he is getting a computer system that will do just about anything he wants it to. He can tell this computer system, it'll be all voice activated with dragon speak. He will be able to tell it to open the bedroom door, and it will open the bedroom door. He can tell it to turn on the TV, it'll turn on the TV. Turn the volume up, turn the volume down, turn off the TV. Shoot, I wouldn't even doubt if this thing would, go out and buy him a cup of coffee from McDonald's if he really wanted one. So that is really, really kind of cool. Technology, wow. Just some of the stuff that technology can do now is definitely amazing. But he's also been battling with some issues in his legs. He actually got a couple of blood clots in his legs. And this was they found him back in November, December. And so he had to basically stop all of his physical therapy regimen and start a new regimen, completely change it up, just because they were worried that the blood clots would break and, cause other issues, stroke, heart attack, you name it. Well, just found out the other day from his doctor that the blood thinners that he was on actually worked better and faster than they thought they were going to. He has been all clear, or he has been cleared from the doctor that was dealing with the blood clots. He still has the blood clots, but they are considered chronic blood clots. They are not clots that are in any area that are going to cause any issues in the future. They're just there. There's no risk of them breaking or anything like that at this point in time. So, starting Monday, today, he is going back to his full physical therapy regimen, electrocuting himself, as he calls it. They have some sort of electrotherapy for his legs where they hook him up to electrodes, and they basically shock the muscles with a low electrical current so that it stimulates the muscles, and basically he's working out without actually working out. So he can start doing that again. He can go back to his old regimen where he was showing great improvement and gaining a lot of mobility. He can go back to getting the Botox injections in his arms, which his girlfriend said that when he has those Botox injections in his arms, he gains almost full use of his arms. Last I saw him was back in February, and his arms didn't look normal. He really didn't look like he had too much control or function with his arms. It was not a pretty sight to behold. It was great to see him, but that's not my dad I remember. So that was a little bit rough, but with him being able to go back on the Botox, he should be able to move his arms around. His girlfriend said that he used to be able to, move his hands over his head and stuff like that, or move his arms over his head and have full control and movement over his arms. But ever since he had to stop the Botox injections, he hadn't been able to do that. So that'll be exciting. He was also telling me that he hopped back on the, what was it? Not the Bowflex, oh man. Yeah, some sort of machine. He hopped on a weight machine, and it's not the Altered Glide, but something like that. I'm forgetting the name of it right now, but anyway, he was doing some squats on it just to see how much his muscles have atrophied or reduced in these past few months, 5 months or so now, since he had to stop his regimen, because that was one of the things that they didn't want him doing. They didn't want him messing around with a whole lot of stuff in his legs, because that's where the blood clots were right in his upper leg, thigh, growing area. And he was telling me that the, not nutritionist, but the workout person, trainer, I guess you could call him, was there and helping him out, and put on a song that lasts, he said, roughly 5 minutes. And in 5 minutes, he did some 50 squats. I'm like, holy crap, that is ridiculous. So, he was like, he even, shocked the snot out of himself with that. And then a little while later, he hopped back on the same machine and ended up doing like another 20 squats, he said. So, the muscles in his legs are not as bad as we thought they would be. He's retained a lot of his muscle in his legs. Obviously, there's going to be some setbacks when you go out and you work out every day for months on end, or even years on end, and then you take time off, like he did, some 4 or 5 months. I mean, shoot, even some people that miss a day or two, start having some major issues with their muscles, just losing muscles and strength and stuff like that. So we're well aware that there could be some hard times in the near future, and that there's certain aspects that aren't going to be as good as they were because of him having to take that break from his regimen. But at the same time, it's not as bad as we thought it was going to be. So that is definitely good news there. And let's go ahead and we will shut down the mowers and head back. There we go. So that didn't take too long to get that mowed up. So now we just gotta go get our tedder. But yeah, it was definitely good news to hear. It's been kind of bleak, I guess you could say, over the past several months. Just when talking to him, I could tell that he was starting to get a little bit depressed and down in the dumps because, he's not able to do the exercises and whatnot that he used to be able to do. And of course, thinking about it and wondering, okay, how much is this actually going to set me back in my recovery? Is this it? Is this as much as I'm going to recover, or is there still hope? Well, he definitely got good news, this past few days, and it definitely sounds like there is hope that he could continue to recover and get even better and stronger than what he was, and who knows, hopefully maybe even get out of that wheelchair. That would be great. I'd love to be able to see that happen. Whether or not it will, I don't know. Nobody has that answer, but I definitely wouldn't mind seeing it. Yeah, at least, if he can't, if this is as well as he's going to get, I mean, at least he is still alive. That's the main thing, is, at least he is still alive. So, there's always that. But, you go through something like that, and you remember them how they used to be, and it's very difficult still to this day, even though it's been a year, to see him battling with trying to control his muscles and his appendages to actually do stuff. So it's a little rough at times, but at the same time, you know, he's still able to move. You know, he's not a quadriplegic or anything like that. So yeah, time will tell at this point. So anyway, we're going to head back out here to our field and get this windrowed. This has been, you know, the PSA from Farmer Red about what's going on lately. I don't know how many of y'all will actually, yeah, never mind. I don't know what I was doing for there. I had a brain fart. So yeah. Let's head back out here to our field and we will get this all windrowed up. Shouldn't take too long. Let's go ahead and get this thing dropped down here. There we go. Come on, set up. Excellent. Down it goes. Yep. Cool. Go ahead and turn it on and start windrowing this grass up. Or actually, it's hay now. We'll just kind of come through here and keep it in a pattern that we will recognize. Make sure that we try and get it all here. Alright guys, just finishing up this last little bit of windrowing here. Had kind of a goofy ending down this center strip, so I'm just going to combine this little bit with this last line that I just did. So that way it's a little bit easier for the forage wagon. Granted, we'll have a little bit of an issue down here trying to get her turned around and back down this strip, but that's okay. Just kind of get it as close to possible, something like that. Alright, perfect. So let's go ahead and fold this thing back up. Go get our forage wagon. And let's not hit the cross bucks. There we go. So yeah, looks like this is all we're going to have time for today, is to get this field mowed down and collected. That's alright. I figured it was probably going to be that way, just because it takes forever to do anything in Farm Sim. Just with all the driving back and forth and everything like that. Again, this should hopefully get easier in the future as we start getting more equipment and whatnot. We should be able to get some helpers so that we don't have to be doing all of this on our own, which that'll be beautiful when that happens. Oh, Red, where are you going? Slow down. Driving like a maniac. There we go. I mean, nothing like driving around like an idiot in a couple $100,000 piece of equipment. There we go, drop that off, and let's go grab our forage wagon, which is over here in the next stall. Come on, turn, you beast. A little bit more. Come on now. There we go. So let's come out here and we will get this all picked up and dumped off into our silo. so that way we can use it later. One thing I haven't tested, which I will have to at some point, is I'm not sure if we're going to be able to pull from the silo, lay it down, and then bale it. So yeah, whether or not we're going to be able to do that is something that I am not too sure about, and that's something that we'll have to check on a little bit later on, is again to see if we can pull it out of our silo as hay, dump it on the ground or whatever, and then put it into a baler to bale it up. I don't see why we shouldn't be able to, but the game might do some goofy stuff with the metas or with the files, you know, file names or whatever, to where if you put something in a silo, especially hay, instead of baling it up, you know, it considers it something different, and you know, instead of being hay loose, now it's just called hay or something like that, and the balers need to have, you know, specifically hay loose in order to bale it up. So I know some games operate that way, where they are very, very specific on what they need in order to operate properly. I don't know if this is one of those games, but I guess we will find out in the near future. So, man, this forge wagon does not hold a whole heck of a lot. Missed a piece. Don't want to miss a piece. I don't want any hay just laying around. It's bad enough that I missed that piece of grass over there, but that'll grow back and we'll hit it next time. Hay, not so much. There we go. Yeah, let's go along here. It looks like we're gonna have to make several trips, because this wagon is almost full and we've only picked up, what, 2 lines? I guess it's about half full. I don't know, we may be able to get most of this field, but we're not gonna be able to get the whole field, which that's a little bit irritating. I wish we could get the whole field in one go. But it is what it is. We'll deal with it. So yeah, let me know in the comments down below how your guys' weekend was. You know, if you had a good weekend, bad weekend, let me know. I want to hear about it. It's always nice to hear from you guys down in the comments, and let me know how you guys are doing, what you guys, you know, think about the videos and whatnot. So I mean, like I said, you know, for me it's been one of those rough couple of months and whatnot, knowing that about my dad, but now things seem to be looking a bit on the bright side, which is awesome. Yeah, and there's our full wagon, so let's go dump this off and come back and hopefully finish up the field. Plus, on top of which, you know, I've been actually working pretty hard with Tiger. She's going through some final exams right now for her classes, and she's been coming up to me last minute with notifying me about exams, saying, oh, by the way, I have an exam tomorrow. Can you help me study for it? Excuse me. And hands me a big old stack of friggin' cards, cue cards, flash cards if you will, 63 different terms that she needs to learn. Alright, so let's go ahead and dump this off here. And then we will head back to the field and pick up the rest. There we go. I'll make this hard left turn out of here. What is this, NASCAR? Alright, and I don't feel like going around, so we're going through. Make sure we're getting lined up here, just like that. Yeah, I like that silo for the storage and whatnot, even though I don't think I've used it just yet. But I really wish it wasn't straight in like that. I wish there was another path right there that we could go through, and instead of, you know, having to go through the storage drop-off point there. Let's just kind of cut off these trees here. There we go. Let's go ahead and start it back up. So, there we go. Let's go ahead and finish up this field here. Get everything put away for the day. And shoot, with these 3 lines, this thing will probably be pretty much filled up again. She's a rocking and a rolling though. Trying to drive over these big old mounds of hay. I'm just saying, come on, get it all now. There we go. Just that little piece of grass down there that we didn't get. And of course I looked away for a moment and get off the line just enough that it doesn't pick it up. Let's just kind of back up here and run back over it so that we can naturally pick it up. And there we go. I'll just kind of come out here and do a 270 turn for the most part, just to get this last line. So like I said, will probably fill us up. If not, it'll be awfully darn close. Come on. Squeeze it in there. Squeeze it in there. You can do it. Come on. Barely, but we got it all in there. So there we go. We have completely mowed down this field, windrowed it, tedded it, windrowed it, collected all of it. Looks good. Let's go ahead and dump this trailer off in our silo. And like I said, we will call it a day here. There's still plenty more that we need to be doing, so in the next episode we will definitely get to the fertilization, and we will refertilize those 3 fields, what is it, 8, 11, and 12, so that we can get those ready for the harvest, get all 3 fertilizations on them so that, you know, we can get the maximum harvest out of them. So that'll be nice. And here we go. Let's go ahead and come up here, dump off this straw, or hay rather, just like so. There we go. Now this will come in handy when we get like cows, because cows need to have they need to have grass, they need to have hay, they need to have power food, they need to have a whole bunch of different crap. So in some of the feeding, total mix ratio or some total ratio mix, I forget exactly what it's called, but you have to mix straw and hay and grass and a bunch of other crap in order to feed them that stuff, and it boosts their productivity. So it's actually a little bit easier to do it this way with the loose hay than it is by the bale, because with a bale, you know, it's well, we got bales in here. Cool. That's good to know. I forgot about those bales in here. Alright, cool. Anyway, with the bales, it's a lot more difficult to measure because I say it's difficult. In some aspects, it's difficult. In some aspects, it's easier. Because, you know, if you have a 2-to-1 ratio, alright, you grab 2 bales of hay and 1 bale of straw, and boom, there's your 2-to-1 ratio. It's not so easy with a bucket, but with a bucket you can dump just a little bit at a time. Whereas a bale, you have a set amount that's in that bale, like 4,000 units or whatever. And so, if you only need a tiny little bit, you're potentially wasting a lot of that bale. So, that's why for stuff like this, I want to keep, you know, keep some loose stuff around. And, like I said, I completely forgot that we had some bales of hay in here. Well, that's good to know. But anyway, guys, that's going to do it for this episode. Like I said, next episode we will get back in the fertilizer and we will go around to those 3 fields and get them fertilized so that we are ready to go for the fall harvest. If you liked this episode, make sure you hit that thumbs up button down below. It helps me and the channel out immensely. Also, don't forget to hit that little bell icon, turn on your notifications if you haven't already. That way you guys can be notified of the newest episodes as they come out. If you're not already subscribed, please consider subscribing. It also helps me and the channel out immensely by you, you know, thinking that I deserve your subscriptions, which I thank every single one of you for. You guys are amazing. Also, don't forget to check me out over on social media. You can go to facebook.com/IrishRedGaming, or you can even go over to Twitter and send me a tweet at IrishRedGaming. Anyway, guys, I hope you have an absolutely great day. I'm just kind of checking out the machinery here, double checking, taking inventory of what we got. So anyway, guys, I will definitely talk to you in the next video. See ya.